joining from Lagos, Nigeria. Let's meet everybody on the call. So please drop your name and of course where you're joining from in the chat, okay? Anthony from Canada, it's nice to meet you. Welcome. Isoma from Lagos, it's good to see you as well. So let's keep it going. Your name, where you're joining us from. Okay, Sandra from Dubai, it's nice to meet you too. Aditola, Soma, Solomon. Let's keep it going. It's good to meet you guys. And of course, we will be starting right about now. And Damnola from Nigeria, nice to meet you as well. So I hope you guys are doing fine once again. And what I'm going to do is share my screen and introduce to you who we are at 10Alytics and exactly what we do and why we are here today. Okay, so let's keep it going. Welcome if you're just joining. This is the 10Alytics masterclass, and of course, the session where you get to learn, get to gain more knowledge, and of course, enjoy yourself. So if this is your first time joining, I want you to drop a 1 in the chat as well. If this is the first time you'll be joining the 10Alytics masterclass, we have something exciting for you. So what I want you to do is drop a 1 in the chat. Okay, a lot of 1s. Fantastic. Let's keep it going. This is your first time of joining the 10Alytics masterclass. Please drop a 1 in the chat, and we're going to note all of that down and share the exciting information with you later on today. So I'm going to share my screen and tell us a little bit about 10Alytics and what we do. And we'll just take it up from there, okay? So please let me know if you can see my screen. Hey. If you can see my screen, please just drop a yes in the chat, so I know that you can see my screen clearly. Thank you very much, Anthony. So, like I said earlier, this is an alumni fireside session chat where we brought in people that have gone through our program and are currently doing so well. We brought them here to, share their experience with you, and of course, talk to you, give you 1 or 2 tips and tricks on how to get started as well. So, this is what we are doing here today. Number 1, we're going to be hearing from some of our participants. It's basically a fireside chat. We're going to be chatting and, of course, explaining each of the programs one by one for people that are just joining. Then, secondly, we are going to be elaborating on the in-demand tech career path and how you can obviously get started in any of these programs. Then thirdly, we're going to look at our upcoming cohorts and how you can be a part of this cohort. And of course, maybe next time we'll also be seeing you out here to share your experience with people. Okay, so welcome once again. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. It's going to be an amazing ride. All right, so who are we? 10Alytics is the kind people putting this together, and it will be very much nice to introduce who we are and what we do. And we are basically a leading edtech company focused on providing specialized training in technology skills and delivering comprehensive data consulting services. Right, so what we do is help people of the global community transition into tech, and of course ensure that they excel in their chosen career paths. And with over 4 years of building these talents for the technological workforce, we have helped over 2,000 people transition from the classroom into their first job in tech across the UK, Canada, Asia, Africa, Europe, everywhere in the world. Okay, and we are committed to making technology the technology sector available to a lot of people, okay, not just some selected few, but a lot of people. And we do that by giving experiential training in different tech career paths like data analytics, business analysis, data engineering, data science, financial analytics, cybersecurity, Scrum Master, and so on and so forth. All right, and we bring in instructors from global companies like Apple, like Microsoft, like McKinsey, Amazon, Sahara Group, and FITC, and so on and so forth. And these people come with their real world experience, they come with their expertise, and they are obviously like dedicated to delivering an engaging and practical learning experience, which ensures that every single person that is in their class gets maximum value for their investments. Okay, so you can check out more of what we do at 10Alytics by visiting our website at 10alytics.io. Then you can also check us out on Instagram at 10Alytics, and Twitter at 10Alytics as well, and LinkedIn at 10Alytics. Right, so that's like who we are and what we do. So a brief introduction of the people that will be hosting you today. First off, I have Chukwemeka. He is the COO of 10Alytics, right? He's a GRC expert with more than 5 years of experience cutting across GRC and consulting. And Chukwemeka has helped over 500 people transition from their tech into landing their first role, right? Of course, I said he's the CEO of 10Alytics, and he has experience spanning across governance, risk, and compliance in the banking sector, head of control in fintech, data analyst. He has worked as a data analyst in the fintech company, and has also worked as an hospitality consultant. Okay, so you can connect with Chukwemeka on LinkedIn at Chukwemeka Ikpa, then on Twitter at Emeka Iced, and on Instagram at Ikpa Chuks. Okay, and then there's me. Of course, I lead the training operations here at 10Alytics, and I have close to 5 years of experience cutting across data analytics, business analysis, and financial analytics. Okay, so I currently work as the head of training operations at 10Alytics, and I have experience cutting across retail and supply chain, FMCG, and of course the EdTech. And I'm very, very all about helping people transition into tech. Of course, I've helped over 2,000 people transition from their classroom into their first role in tech, and I'm also an ambassador for women in tech. Okay, so you can connect me on LinkedIn at Oluwadamilola Ajimobi, and on Twitter and Instagram as well. Okay, so that's the bit of what we do at 10Alytics and your host for today. So I'm going to very quickly also introduce our alumni that have come to share their experience with us today, and of course give you insights into how they were able to get all of these things on, go through their program, what the experience they had with the program, and then how they were able to land their role. Okay, so first on my list is Muideen, in no particular order. Oh, okay, so I have Muideen on the call. Hi Muideen, can you hear me? Good evening. I hope you are doing well. If you'd like to.
Yes, I can hear you, but please do the introduction, please. I can
All
hear
right, fantastic. I just wanted to know that you can hear me. So Muideen got a job working remotely with BBX in UK just 2 months after completing his data analytics program. And I'm a fan. He is somebody who is very intentional about himself. He joined the program in August 2023, just as you are here. He joined the masterclass, got to know about analytics, and obviously like joined the program. And now straight up after completing his internship, he started to apply to jobs, and he got a new job in February 2024. So that's Muideen for you. Then I've also got Joel here on the call. Joel got a job as a data engineer with Bridge in Nigeria. Of course, he also got to know about analytics. He started his program in September, that's last year, 2023. And of course, as of now, he got a job as a data engineer with Bridge. Then I've also got Akintayo. Akintayo got a job as a CFO, Chief Financial Officer in Nigeria after completing his financial analytics program. And according to Akintayo, his multiple interview preps, mentorship sections with our facilitators made the difference for him when it came to landing his role. So what I'm going to be doing now is bringing up these people that I've introduced, and we are going to get straight into the fireside chat. Okay, so I Akintayo, I Joel, and
hi, Oluwadamilola. Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly. Okay,
Okay.
so if you'd like to turn on your camera so I can spotlight you as well.
I think you disabled the turning on of the camera.
You can try again. Okay, I can see you now.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Oh,
going to spotlight
okay.
you.
Okay.
Okay, Joel, you should be able to unmute now. And Muidin as
Okay.
well.
Can you hear me
Yes, I can hear you.
clearly?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just
All
going to
right.
bring up Muidin as well. I think you joined with Muidin's iPad. Hi, Akintayo. So good to see you today. How are you doing?
Yeah, Oluwadamlola, good evening and good evening to everyone. I hope you can all hear me clearly.
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Hi, Joel. Good evening to you. How are you doing?
Hi, Dami. Doing very well. How about you? Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again. Okay, we are waiting for our meeting. I'm waiting. If you can hear me,
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
All right, sorry, my network was misbehaving. So I think
That's fine. If you want to turn on your camera so I can spotlight you.
okay, car is on.
Okay. Okay, cool. So, how
Yeah.
are you guys doing? Do you want to share what's happening currently with you? Yeah, I know I already introduced you, but if you'd like to do a little bit of introduction about yourself as well and how you got to know about 10Alytics, basically. So I'm going to start with Akintayo. Hi, Akintayo.
Oh, okay. Good evening, everyone, once again. I think I got to know about analytics March ending of 2023, and the second day I enrolled in the financial analytics program because being a chartered accountant of over how many years. So I decided that okay, that one will best hone my skills to be a better, I've been preparing for a role, the top role in finance, and that is the top job in finance is the CFO. So I've been preparing myself for that. So, and I believe that now people do no longer want to hire accountants again. So they want a bit of tech. They want people that can do financial modeling. They want people that can, draw up a model with actionable and unusual insights for decision making. So I decided to enroll, and and that day that I enrolled, I was even on my way to Ghana on a road trip. So, I was so tired. So the second day, we started the program on Saturday, and I enjoyed the program, the watch me do it video was it for me, and the several mentorship sessions, everything made a difference, and the support the support framework that they have. You have an interview. They get someone to guide you through. 10Alytics have also contacted me to help them guide one of their students who will be having interview very soon, which I'm going to do after this program. So the 10Alytics journey for me has been a very transformative experience for my career, and it's opened up my horizon to new possibilities. Though not everything I know was taught by 10Alytics, but the training with 10Alytics, opened my eyes into several aspects of finance. So why I'm saying that is that your training after your training with 10Alytics, you need to be very, very detailed about your training with 10Alytics. You don't just rely on what is being taught in class. They can just mention some things passively, which you can just beam your searchlight into and do further research, even if it means getting further training in areas where 10Alytics do not offer training. For instance, my training with 10Alytics It was not as if 10Alytics recommended a course for me, but my training with 10Alytics opened me up to a course called the FP&E, Financial Planning and Analytics, which I enrolled for in India. So what I want to encourage you that is that this journey is not a small ride. I will not deceive you, but if you are tenacious and you are focused, I can assure you you will get it, and they will stay by you all through. After my program, financial analytics program, I also enrolled for data science program with 10Alytics, which I also completed, though I did not complete it to my satisfaction because as at that time I was in series of interview. This thing is not a fluke, I can assure you it's not a fluke. If you are really committed and focus all your energy and you are ready to sacrifice with what it takes, I can assure you it's no luck. You are going to, you are going to get lucky one day with a job. This one that I got, I was a top candidate for 3 different roles. So I picked the one I wanted the most. So I told the 2 others that I would like to discontinue my participation. I was so sure of myself that when I send my CV, my CV will speak a language that they want to hear. So that is what 10Alytics will guide you through. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Akintayo. That was quite expressive. Okay, thank you so much for sharing. So I'm going to move to Joel. Hi, Joel. Do you want to just a brief introduction of yourself, what you were doing previously before moving into 10Alytics, and before moving into tech with 10Alytics, and what your journey has been like so far? You are muted.
So can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yep.
Okay, good evening, everybody. So my name is Joel Madumere, and I am a data engineer. I was previously a chemical process engineer. I was working for a manufacturing firm, and that was basically it for me. I mean, my undergraduate degree was in chemical engineering. So after school, I got a job directly in process engineering. So that's what I was doing before I got into 10Alytics.
Okay, do you want to share what your journey has been like so far?
Okay, you mean my journey before or my journey along? Because I can be. What do
Let
you
me
mean specifically?
repeat myself. Right. So do you want to share what your after joining 10Alytics, how did you get to know about 10Alytics,
Yeah.
and that's your journey?
Okay, so let me just give a brief. Okay, I'll be brief with that. So I think sometime last year, I was, or the previous year, I was, I was planning to go I was applying for a master's, a master's in energy engineering. And at the time, a colleague of mine just, he saw what I was doing. He saw I was applying for master's in, and he asked me, okay, what are you doing? I said I was applying for a master's in energy engineering. And he has been in the engineering field for about 10 years. So he told me, why are you not looking at AI, machine learning, data science? That's like the future. And I was like, at that time, I probably had no interest whatsoever to enroll into tech. I wasn't really, in for the whole tech thing. So I remember he sent me a link then. So I read, I kind of like read the future of AI and all of that thing. So that's when my interest in tech started as a whole. So I started, I took some trainings, data science at the time. And then, I was in this training where they were talking about data engineering. It was the first time I'd heard about data engineering and how important it was, how difficult it was. And I felt like, I'm up for the challenge. I don't think there's anything that is, harder than what I'm doing already. So I just applied. Hello? Dami, can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, please go ahead.
I think,
Yeah, we can hear you.
okay. Should I go ahead? I think your screen.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
So I don't know where you stop hearing me from, but then, you know, from from being interested, I remember coming across a link. It was not a link. I think it was on IG, yeah. But before that time, I'd seen Efemina, I'd seen some of his art, but then it really didn't, strike a
Networks.
chord. But then this period around, I saw an ad by Efemina talking about, data and all of that thing. You know how convincing Efemina can be. So I just said, let me just, attend the master class. And that was like March. So I attended the master class and I was really impressed, with the things that people could do with data as a whole. So I was really impressed, but I was not ready. I was still, this thing, can someone really get a job? I mean, just apply like that. Because I came from a engineering background. So I spent like 5 years in university. So you're now telling me just take this course and then you jump into, you get a job. So it was too good to be true for me. But then I attended another master class twice within that year. That was last year. I attended one master class around from March. I attended one around I think June. But then I wasn't really ready. And then September, I just said, you know what? Ah, I don't want to end the year without starting something. So that was the push for me. I don't want to end this year without starting something. And during that master class, Femina said something. He said, you could land if you take a course now, you could very well land a job beginning of next year. So I said, you know what? I don't want to waste much time. So I just applied and yeah, I am now.
All right, that was very interesting to know. Thank you for sharing, Joel. So, hi, Prince. Waiting. So do
Yeah,
you want to
can
share?
can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. So do you want to
All
share how
right.
you go through about 10Alytics and your journey so far, your tech journey so far?
Okay. So contrary, but in my own case, I actually heard about analytics around February last year. That was when you guys were doing the International Women's Day discounts and you slashed the price to like significantly. So I was like, what is going on? So I stayed and I can tell you for a fact that I actually attended almost all the master class that you guys were holding, that I was so used to the whole process. And while doing all this, I was actually making my research because that's the kind of person that I am, considering that it's something that is 100% online. So I made my research and I was like, I'm going to do this thing. There's no how I'm not going to do this thing. So before I actually signed up, I informed two of my siblings. So one, me coming on board, I did data analysis. My sister, one of them did financial analysis, and the other did data science. So the three of us, we actually created a group, and after classes on Saturday, we get into the group, brainstorm, and the journey so far has been good. It has been good, and it's wonderful thinking about how the whole thing started and how it has been now, and the efforts one puts in to get things done, do your job, do your project, all those things. At the end of the day, they amounted to something that was actually very useful as a tool in getting where everybody is today. So the journey so far has been very good.
Okay, I think your internet was a bit on and off, but I think
I
we did
was I
try
was
to get.
thinking the network was crappy and we don't really know. It's crappy. Sorry about that.
That's fine,
And
not a problem. Okay, so thank you guys so much for sharing your journey with us. The next follow-up question I'd like to ask is now, how did your training prepare you for the job that you're currently working, right? So you went through the training, you did everything starting from attending classes, the assignments, to the projects, to your capstone projects, your internship, the mentorship sessions, the employability sessions. How did all of these things prepare you for your current role? Okay, so I can tell you, do you want to go first?
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay. Prior to joining 10Alytics, I used to pride myself that if you ask me to rate myself, that what is my proficiency in Excel, I will say, okay, make it not be like, say, I get pride. Okay, I'll give myself maybe 7. But when we started with Excel, advanced Excel class, I discovered I didn't even know 2 out of 10. So, that was, it was a very humbling experience for me. It was taught by I think Dotun or so, taught by Dotun Akaribu or so was it? I can't even remember it. I think it was the thing was the course was taught by one guy, Sha. So it was a very humbling experience, and and I used to look at that watch me do video over and over, because he was doing some things with Excel as if he was doing magic. I say, wow, so this thing exists. And I've been using Excel practically since 2007, that I thought I was one of the best, not knowing then that I did not know Jack. So until I enrolled with 10Alytics, that's why I say, okay, yeah, I think even if this is what I have learned, my money has worked for me. I have not wasted my money. So, we continue to solving, and when we were doing our financial modeling roundup, and there was one guy, Kingsley, the guy, he was delving into some issue. I said, yeah, I'm in trouble. I've been a chartered accountant for over 12 years, and I did not know all these things. So those are some of the things that triggered my inquiry to make more research, to be a better person than I am. And I want to tell the would-be student of 10Alytics, I want to advise you, just like Joel said, make sure that you do something and complete it before the end of this year. If possible, just start anyhow. Start by next month, and before the end of this year, finish your internship. Be serious with it. Maybe you may get lucky by early next year, and the current role I am, I got it January, and I was enrolled for March cohort last year. I finished my internship around August last year, and I've been going for some interviews. It will not be positive, but I did not give up. And why I'm saying this is that, like Adeza and Efemina will say, you will get tons of rejection. But I can assure you that the more rejection you get, the closer you are to your breakthrough. So that I can assure you. But one thing that really worked for me was that all those rejection, I never, had a pity on myself. I had a document. I document every interview experience I have. What were the questions they asked me that I could not answer properly? So I'll go and do extensive research on those areas of my core. So, and it now got to a stage that before they asked me question, I already knew where they were going to. So I became top candidate, just like I said the other time. I became top candidate in 3 different big companies. But I chose this one because he had the almost the highest pay, and is the peak of my career. So I can tell you that the journey with 10Alytics, though I said something which I need to also emphasize. If you are very, very attentive, they are going to open your eyes to some things which they may not teach you in depth, but it is your responsibility, because you paid, and you need to make the best use of the resources and the money you pay. You need to get the best value. You need to probe further. You need to ask questions so they can guide you. You can go and do further research on your own, and that will make all the difference for you. And when we're doing the financial modeling, the capstone project, the capstone project that we did. In my cohort, I was the first to complete my own capstone project. I was the first to submit because I was so dedicated to it. And I can tell you that the more your dedication, because these guys that are taking you, they are also very, very busy. You understand? So when they see your dedication at your capstone project and your internship, if you are not doing internship, you are cheating yourself after your program. Though they will give you the internship is not compulsory, but I will advise that you pay, you attend, and you pull it through because it will introduce you to a lot of it will introduce you to a lot. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So it's going to the internship will introduce you to a lot of cases. You understand? The ones that you are not used to. And the more the cases you handle, the better for you when you are preparing yourself for an interview. Because nobody wants to buy no testing. You understand? They want to be sure that what they are really paying you for, you can deliver on it. So with 10Alytics, like I said, it was a very transformative journey for me. And I want to also encourage you guys to be studious and the secret thing I learned about this thing is that you should not allow your lectures to pile up, because you can see that okay, it's only Saturdays. Don't allow it to pile up. When you allow it to pile up, it will be difficult to cope. So as you are watching the Watch Me Do It video, you understand, start to practicalize. And I use a method, I use a smart TV. So I signed onto my email. I was watching on the TV because the TV is larger enough, and you also enjoy. You will see all the Excel function, the cell referencing, the formatting, all those things. You will see them clearly while you are also on your own laptop. You are also practicalizing what you have been taught. So that was the magic wand that did it for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Akintayo. Thank you. So I'm going to go next to Joel. Hi, Joel.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
how did the training prepare you for your current role? All the things that I mentioned earlier, how have they been very useful for you in your current role?
Okay, so I'll start by saying that before I enrolled into the data engineering program, I had gone through, I had gone through data camps, data engineering, curriculum, and quite some other, online schools curriculum. So, but then analytics one was more comprehensive. It was touching on a lot of things from cloud computing to Docker and a lot of tools. So that was the first thing that really got my attention to want to apply. And, when we started, like Akintayo said, it was quite intensive. It was really intensive. And even got more intensive during the capstone project. I know how many people just, couldn't continue because for one thing, the data engineering program is very intensive. As a whole, it is really intensive, it's demanding. So many people could not complete that. But, at some point, I remember one day where I had to sleep like around 3 a.m. because I told myself, I did not pay money to come out. I know I'm not wasting my money. I'm completing this thing. I started it. So I did everything. There were days where I was like, this thing is not necessary. Rich. I mean, I have a job, but then I completed it. And I remember during my interview, part of the things that I did during my capstone were the things that they were asking me questions. I was just smiling because I know this thing. I did it. It's not like, somebody did it for me. I did it. So the curriculum was quite intensive. It was broad enough. The mentorship sessions were just when I was preparing for the interview, because it came on very short notice. I did not have a lot of time to start, Googling, going to YouTube to check, resources. Very simply, I just went to my dashboard, my classroom dashboard, to my classroom. I checked some. I remember that Suleiman did one, one on what was that again? We had one session on, on how to handle interviews. So that's the one I went to. I was able to draw out, tell me about yourself. So I had a lot of materials in-house. So analysis is more like an ecosystem that you learn. You're also being trained, on how to take your interviews, on how to build your CV, which was very important for me, on how to optimize your LinkedIn. So it was like I said, it was an ecosystem. I did not need to go out. I was so confident that whatever I needed, I had the material in my classroom. So the curriculum was on point, the mentorship sessions were on point, the LinkedIn optimization sessions were on point. So I was well rounded. I was well prepared. So that's that about that.
Thank you for sharing, Joel. I'm waiting. Do you want to also share your experience regarding how the training program prepared you for your current role?
Okay, so I'll start by saying the training, yeah, the most grueling part, aside from the 2 points that Joel and Akitanya said, which is very intensive. You get the one that was very impactful for me, I would say, is during the capstone. Because when you see the capstone, it will grill you, it will check your dedication, it will check many things that you don't really know you have. And if you are the type that you give up easily, I don't think, aside from the fact that you won't really be able to achieve this, you will not really be able to achieve a lot in life generally. So that has been what really helped the capstone. And aside from that, the method which the 10Alytics use in the training, which is like, for example, now there's always a mentorship session and interview prep sessions. Those sessions alone, they help you in many ways that you cannot even think of. Now, I did data analysis and I studied economics in my undergrads level. So even though people might think it's related, but I will tell you for a fact that they are not related. They are not related in any way. So if you are thinking maybe because whatever you did in your undergrads is something different, maybe English, and you think you cannot do data engineering, my brother, my sister, you are very wrong. You can actually do it. It only takes dedication from you. And once you're dedicated and you know what you're doing and you're ready to give it your all, you will get it. The interview prep session alone is enough. And if you listen to what Akita said earlier, those sessions are so grilling that helped him to be so formidable that he's able to land top roles in top companies, and he was the one deciding on which he wants to go for. Now, all these things are able, he's able to do all these things because of how the analytics structured, how they do the interview. So those are the things that really I'll say they are very impactful for me in how I was able to land my job that I'm doing presently, and how also the capstones, when we do the normal presentation, those ones, they are so right now they're very enjoyable to me because I tend to I'm this kind of person that don't really like to talk much. I don't like to talk. I'll just rather do the work and let it work. The thing that I've done, do the talking. For the presentations, the talking to a lot of people, I've so gotten used to it that now my job requires me to talk with top level people at the company. And trust me, if I didn't do all these things with analytics, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be war. I would just basically maybe turn on my camera and turn it off and just be doing rubbish on an international platform. But having going through that with analytics, it helped formed me to something that me myself I'm very proud of, and it's been very enjoyable, and those are the things that they're able to shape in me, and which I'm eternally grateful for.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, so another question that I would like to ask is was there a specific moment during your training that sort of like stood out for you? Maybe it was like you had this like wow, was there a specific wow moment that you had during your training program? And then also I don't think I've asked like what motivated you to join 10Alytics, because we have like a lot of other places out there, but what was that thing that stood out for you with 10Alytics and why you eventually joined the program. Joel, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I think I've touched on that if you listen to me clearly. The first thing was for me was the curriculum. I wasn't just going to be bamboozled, and I checked, I took my time to go through. There was for like a month, I went through, I was on YouTube, I was on Google, I was searching, okay, what tools, what are the things that the engineer needs to know? So I had to go through them. So it was a no-brainer for me when I saw it at that time. So, and what was it? What's your second question? You asked about
Yeah, was there a
what
specific
motivated.
point that stood out for you?
Yeah. Okay,
Program?
before that too, apart from the curriculum too, I just had to be frank to myself. Like I told you, my colleague just pointed me, he showed me the lights. And I mean, I've been working for how many years? And man, I wasn't getting the results I'd expected. It wasn't it for me. I was like, man, the future is moving faster than we expect. I'm in a career where, sometime in the future, a machine will take over very well. So I had to think. So the career I chose was not because, I was just trying to jump into something. It was more futuristic. Okay, what do I want to do now that I see myself doing next 10 years? You understand? So that was the thing that had to push me. Okay, let me pick this thing up. So that was the main thing. And one of the eureka moments I had during our training was one of the eureka moments I had was during the capstone. Like I thought I knew. It made me. I mean, if you call airflow, that's tools you will call, I would just smile. It drilled me. I had to go through, lots of YouTube videos. I had to ask questions. I had to really, so that was one of the best times for me. It was rigorous at the time, but when I think about it, it was a good time for me. And there's something Efemina said. So Efemina said something, I just want to drop that here because I might leave soon. Efemina said, he said, paying the money is the easiest thing because sometimes you just feel, okay, how much is it? You pay the money, you feel, pay the money. So you guys said I'm going to get the job. So give us the job. But it's the easiest thing. Going through the classes, doing your assignments, you know, writing and everything, just doing the exercises they give you to do. That's the hard job. That's the job that nobody will do for you. Not your instructors, not we who are here, not Dami. No, nobody's going to do it for you. You're the one that's going to do it for yourself. So that's that.
Thank you. I like that specific highlight from Ifemina. Okay, so it's very important that you also come 100%, of course, because at the end of the day, that's very important. Okay, so thank you, Joel. Muidin, do you want to share your wow moments during the training program? And of course, what eventually motivated you to choose 10Alytics?
Okay, so I'll start with what motivated me in the first place, and that is just my hunger for growth. Prior joining to analytics, I was not really doing something. I was doing something, but not really as intense as what I would really want to do, and I actually see no future in it. And as a man, I can't continue to do that. That was what really motivated me, and I started my research, and I came across the analytics, and I saw the analytics. I saw some other guys, and what the other guys were actually offering, even though their prices were cheaper, I was like, no, I know what I want, and these people will be the one to give it to me. That was one of the reasons why I saw analytics by February, and I had to wait till that late because I wanted to be certain that they will actually give me what they're saying. Now, everybody are so used to saying they will give you this, they will give you that, and at the end of the day, you won't get anything. You might probably just get the recording. So far, you've paid off. Bye-bye. You've paid. You're getting what you. So I wanted to be sure that I will actually get the value from whatever that, because it's not really about the money that you paid, because the time wasted can never ever be gotten back. So I needed to be certain that I will get value for my money and for the time spent. And I didn't regret it. As a matter of fact, I'm thankful that I actually did it. Now, sincerely, one of like my wow moments in the training is the Excel. Man, the Excel is crazy. I'm not sure Joel did Excel, considering that I did data engineering, but Akitayo will be able to. You see, the Excel class is crazy. It will literally blow your mind. I don't want to know how skilled you are in Excel. I was very skilled. I'm someone that knows his way around all these stuff. And I did the first lesson, first class with 10Alytics in Excel. I was like, what have I been doing all my life? Why? Why have I been wasting away? Why? Why have this been happening to me? So you see, the Excel class is crazy, which is that we happened to be the first class, and that locked me in. The subsequent one, the Power BI, the SQL, the Tableau, every other one after that, it was just like, wow, wow, one mind blowing for me. And from then on, every other step is just mind blowing for me. And it's been good all the way. And even till now, it's been good. What they instilled in me is still part of what I'm still carrying on and helping every other person that I meet. That is still what is in me. And say that those are the things that really wowed me and inspired me to join 10Alytics.
Okay, everybody is pretty wild with the Excel class, and that's very good to see. No, all right. So, Akintayo, over to you. Do you want to share your wow moment and what motivated you to eventually choose 10Alytics?
Okay. Actually, I've been trying to, delve more into the analytics aspect of finance. So when I saw the 10Alytics banner on I looked at the content for financial analytics. I said, I'm not too familiar, despite being in finance for a while. I'm not too familiar with all these things. And I saw the price. I said, okay, even if I pay I'm not risking too much. Okay, let me just risk it. And I can say that my wow moment was during my capstone project when I was doing my capstone project, when I followed all the steps and my me it's finance is more of you will know if you got it right or wrong. So when I saw that yes, my cash flow statement and my balance sheet has balanced, I say wow. So even that day, it was the day I completed it was the morning of Ileya festival last year. I said, no, I'm definitely going to give myself a big treat today. So I submitted my capstone project that morning, and that was the wow experience for me. And during the after the internship session, when Nene used to prepare me for interview, he got to state that she does not even answer me again. He said, Akintayo, there's nothing left to teach you again. Just go and bring home the job. He got to that stage, and it was a wonderful experience for me. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing, Akintayo. All right. So another question is, are there some misconceptions that you thought would hinder you from getting your current role? And what are your thoughts about these misconceptions now? Okay. Muideen, do you want to go first?
Okay, so initially, I won't lie, despite the fact that Adeza and Efemin always tell you that there are no misconception, there are no age restriction to you coming into tech. You don't experience it, you won't apply to a job, and the HR will be asking you how old are you, what state or what where do you live, where do you come from. Aside from the fact they always say this, and I have it at the back of my head, some part of me, like one inner thing is still always telling me like, you sure these people will not ask you how old you are, where are you from, or because the fact that you're somebody looking to secure a remote job, they'll be telling you because you don't have um work experience, international work experience, they will not give it to you. Those are the major things that actually been a major concern for me, and definitely the years of experience. But I will literally tell you that all those things they are almost not available, because what employers value most are your practical skills and your problem solving abilities. they value all those things over your age, your where you're from. Maybe you're black, you're white, you're orange. They don't care about those things. So the fact that you can solve a problem that they are facing, you have the skill and you can actually demonstrate your expertise to solve those problems. That's all they care about. And what some of the ways that you can actually do that is by actually building a strong portfolio, because those things will speak for you before you go ahead and go into the interview before they actually see or hear you speak personally. So those are my major misconceptions, and I won't lie to you, the way they've said it, which is just show your skills, let them know what you're capable of, build a strong portfolio, build a very strong CV, be able to defend your CV, be able to defend your portfolio, and they will give you the job. It is like that. There is no buttering. There is nothing like maybe they're sugarcoating words. My brother, my sister, it is like that. And that is how I actually met it. And it's that's just my own misconception. And trust me, it doesn't exist. It doesn't.
Thank you, Prince. Joel, are there some common misconceptions that you had? And what are your thoughts about these misconceptions now?
Okay, so I think for me, the major misconception was experience. You understand? So I was really skeptical about how do you say you get a job you have no experience in. So it was really that for me. But then during the mentorship sessions, there were things that I had heard. And Suleiman said something. He said, one way or the other, you can link what you want to do with what you have been doing. And that's the truth. Somewhere, you're a banker, you're dealing with data. You understand? No matter the field you're in, you can relate what you're doing with what you want to do. So it was that for me. I had that misconception, that doubt of I don't have the experience. How do I get the job? With what I've seen, if you just know how to present yourself, if you know how to package what you have done and relate it to what you're doing, definitely they will give you. So
Okay, so packaging is very important and knowing how to link what you currently do with what you are looking to do. And that's something that would also like very much emphasize here at 10Alytics. Does not matter what your background is, as long as it's something that you are very good at, you'd definitely be able to find some transferable skills. Okay, so Akintayo, what are the common misconceptions that you had? And then what are your thoughts about the misconceptions now?
Okay. I will say this, and I don't know how people will feel about it, but I'll still find a way to say it anyway. I used to have a misconception that in my industry, the finance core, I used to believe that if you have not worked in a big four organization before, I mean the likes of KPMG, Pricewaterhouse, Deloitte, EY, if you have never worked in those firms, it will be difficult for anybody to give you a CFO role. You understand? So, and that is not true. So if you really know what you are doing, you can defend what's on your CV. You prepare a CV that can speak to employer, that if you are like all the rejections I get, not that you are not going to, I will prepare your mind. I don't know whether Joel and Muideen did not get rejection. Me, I got lots of rejection, but the one I mean now, is far better than all those rejections I got. So I can say that. So you are going to, but what I did then was that I always document my failures. What were the questions I did not answer right? What were the things? Because I want to also tell you something, that there's a model I adopted that I was calculating my conversion rate. What do I mean by conversion rate? If I send CV to 10 vacant roles. If 2 calls me for interview, that means I have a 20% conversion. So the higher your conversion rate, the closer you are to getting your dream job. So I had that thing that, okay, sometimes I will send CV, compelling CV, and I know that know how these people will likely call me for. Even the day I resumed on my role, the day I resumed on my role, Pricewaterhouse called me as I was about to step into my office. They just, I just made the tour of the entire company. As I was to enter my office to sit down, my phone rang. Somebody called me from Pricewaterhouse that one of their clients, was in love, not interested, was in love with my CV. I say, unfortunately, I'm resuming so position today. He said, okay, he wished me well, and that was the end of God. The following Thursday, I resumed on Monday. Thursday, KPMG also called me that one of their clients would like to, am I free to talk? I said, no, I just resumed it. You understand? So when you are good at what you are taught and you can make research and you can document your failures, the thing with it is not easy. The way I'm saying it is not that that guy was whining us. I'm not whining you. I'm just telling you the way it is. If you are steadfast and you are dedicated, you will even be the one to say, no, this one I don't want. This one I don't. Even the one I did not apply to on LinkedIn, they will just send me, there's one offer. I want to, when they see profile. So I used to think that, and this is my first CFO role. I've never been CFO before, which I thought was going to be a disadvantage for me. But I went through 3 different rigorous interviews. My last interview, I was interviewed by a single person for 82 minutes. And when I finish that intro, it is not going to be easy, but if you can defend, because they want to be convinced that you can deliver. So, but if you get rejection, it's a plus for you. Look at you too. You can introspect within yourself that what were the questions they asked me that I was not able to answer well. Okay, this one. Okay, how best would I have been able to answer it in future, knowing what I now know now? It got to a state that there is no question you want to ask me that will not be able to answer you with practical scenarios based on what I have done, what I have handled, and the learning curve of the rejection and failures I've had. So that has been my own experience.
Thank you so much for that explanatory response, Akintayo. All right. So it's very important that you also document your failures as much as possible so you just know how to reach yourself. So last question for today before we move to the next section of the program. What advice would you give to somebody who is here today looking to get started in tech? Any advice from people that have gone through this path? Prince, do you want to go first?
Okay, so my advice for anyone willing to start that have the need to start, that should be starting, which I believe should be everybody on this call, my advice would be to dive in with an open mind and the willingness to actually learn. Yeah. Focus on building strong foundation, which is key, which is like a very key tool and technique in doing everything that you're doing. So everything that you've been taught in class, don't just learn it and off you go. Pay time, give it your time, practice, watch it over and over again, ask questions, make mistakes so you can learn from it. And all these things comes by your willingness to learn and you by having an open mind. So with all these things, you'll be able to create things that will better put you at an advantage, which is basically equip you with the experience that you need, equip you with the skills that you need to be able to defend and create anything within your newly found profession in tech. So my advice would be be open-minded, and the strong willingness to learn. And trust me, everything will be good. Everything will go as easy as it can.
Thank you so much. So open-minded, regardless of if you have a background in tech, if you have experience in this and that, just be open-minded. That's very important. So Akintayo, are you still with us?
Okay, yes, just like Muideen
Yeah,
said,
do you want to give your
like,
advice?
okay, my own advice is that just like the way I joined the 10Alytics, with the money is very, very cheap, you know. I'm not a stakeholder in 10Alytics. I'm not one of the founders, but I'm telling you, you are not losing anything joining 10. As in the value, just like I don't know how to say, just like you own a Volkswagen B2, they tell you that, okay, bring the Volkswagen B2 and come and take a Highlander. That is just the way I can describe it, because you are not losing anything, because the value they are going to be delivering, you too, you will marvel at the stage that these people know the tire. You understand? They are going to deliver massive value, I can tell you. So you are not really taking any risk. So it is better you jump into it now if you can afford it readily. If you cannot, try to to budget for it, and just make sure you complete it. You give yourself 4-5 months before the year runs out, and just make sure you are able to do something that you can add to yourself. One thing I am sure of is that if you really know what you are doing, you understand? So because sometimes I look at people, they just change up their I look at it, these people, are they doing jazz? Are they just transitioning from this job to this? Is there anything? There's nothing special. It is the skill. It is the skill that will make all the difference for you. And it is that skill that 10Alytics will equip you with. Me, I did not even attend any master class when I was about to join. I did not attend any. I just saw the curriculum. I just, how can I be a chartered accountant for many years and I do not know many of these things in this? Okay, I'm not. How much is the money? I'm not taking any risk. Okay, let me just enroll myself, and just to better equip myself. I know that that thing is going to speak one language in future, and lo and behold, it has spoken. So that's the advice I would give to anybody who is hearing me right now. You are not losing anything by trying your luck. Just try, throw yourself into it, be dedicated.
Thank you so much, Akintayo. That was very, very I'm sure everybody on this call, first of all, Akintayo and Muideen's advice, you already know that it's time to get started. Okay, very important that you are very consistent, just like Akintayo said. So we're bringing this part of the session to a close. All right. So thank you so much, Joel, Akintayo, and Muideen, for showing up. Thank you for coming to speak to people that are looking to get started in tech as well. And yes, would see you guys around. Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
So, bye, everyone. Sorry, not bye, everyone. Bye, Akintayo and Prince. So at this junction, I'm going to be handing over to Chukwemeka, and he's going to take us through the next part of the session. All right. So, hi, Chukwemeka.
Hi, Damilola. Thank you so much for that powerful session. Thank you so much, Akintayo. Thank you, Muideen. Thank you, Joel, for joining us tonight. So in a couple of minutes, I'll be bringing up my screen so that I can walk everyone through how they can be able to transition. How can you walk this journey that Akintayo has done? The same thing that Joel did, the same thing that Muideen did. How can you go this exact route? Okay, so just stay with me. But if you've been following us up to this moment, can you drop a 1 in the chat box so that I'll be sure that people are still listening to us, okay? If you've been following us till this exact moment, to this exact point, can you drop a 1 in the chat box so that I'll be sure that there are people that are still here with us? Amazing. I can see a couple of 1. Fantastic. It means that people are still here with me. That means I'm good to go. Okay, I can see a couple of one. Amazing, fantastic. So, like we all know, Akintayo did financial analytics, Muideen did data analytics, Joel did data engineering, but that's not the only program that we offer here at Analytics. Okay, so we have a couple of other courses that we also offer here. And that starts with data analytics. We have data science, we have data engineering, we have business analysis, we have HR analysis, we have financial analysis, Scrum Master, and of course, cyber security analyst. So I've seen a couple of questions in the chat box. So just stay with me. We are going to answer all those questions that you have. Give me 1 hour, and before that 1 hour is over, we'll address every single question that you have. So how did we get about to doing only these 8 courses, right? You know, one thing about transitioning is transitioning right and not transitioning to a place that you're going to be redundant or a place that it will take you years to actually be fully, you know, an expert in that area. What we did at the beginning of the year is that we analyzed the World Economic Forum reports, and from it, we're able to see, okay, these are the jobs that are going to be in high demand in the coming years. And that starts with AI and machine learning specialists, sustainability specialists, business intelligence analysts, information security analysts, fintech engineers, data analysts, and scientists. And from all these, we're able to, you know, streamline it to jobs that has that ease of transitioning and the ones that will also offer you high return on investment, as well as having a lower time ease of learning, right? So all these things we put into consideration and said, okay, these are the 8 courses that we are going to be offering. If you look closely, AI and machine learning specialists, that's a little bit tilted towards what data scientists are doing. Because you are going to learn machine learning as a data scientist with 10Alytics. And of course, business intelligence analysts, these are things that you get to analyze data and bring it up with visual, can easily do it with Power BI. And that's things that we also offer in our data analyst programs, right? And information security analyst speaks to cyber security that we are also offering, right? This is just like a derivative of the name. You know, inside cyber security, there are a lot of names. You have the network engineer, endpoint engineer, and so on and so forth. But extensively, they all speak to cyber security. And the other one, of course, data analysts and data scientists and data engineers. I'm going to explain all these courses in detail in the coming minutes. And then if you move forward, I'm also going to see that project managers and financial analysts are also part of the jobs that are going to be in high demand in these coming years. Okay, and that's what made us to be offering just these 8 courses, right? Like I said before now, we selected courses that will give you that ease of learning, right? So once you've put your mind into, okay, this is what I want to do, you can easily learn and understand it. And of course, ease of transitioning and getting a job. It means that once you are done training with these exact 8 courses that we are offering, you can comfortably transition to a job. And they, of course, offer you a high rewarding salaries in the end. Okay, so moving on, I mentioned that these jobs offer you high rewarding salary. Let's take a look at what is saying across the globe. So for data analysts in UK, you earn as high as £40,000, Canada as high as $64,000, and US as high as $72,000 US. For a data scientist, you earn as high as £55,000, Canadian dollar 95,000 Canadian dollar, and US dollar 121,000. And data engineers also earn massively in all these regions. You earn as high as 65,000 in UK, as high as 102,000 Canadian dollars, and as high as 134 US dollars. And moving on to business analysts, you see that they also earn 52,000 plus in UK. They earn 74,000 Canadian dollars and 85,000 US dollars. And so if you also move to the other right-hand side, you see that HR analysts, financial analysts, Scrum Master, and cyber security, that they all offer high rewarding salaries in the end. And these are things that we are going to prepare you for. Remember, I mentioned that the 8 courses are going to offer you ease of transitioning, ease of learning, and of course, high and rewarding salaries. So how and what exactly do all these 8 courses? What do they mean? So if we talk about data analyst right now, who is a data analyst? We talk about business analyst, who is a business analyst? So I'm going to walk us through what all these 8 courses are so that we can be able to say, okay, this is where I'll find my own peace. This is where I want to be, right? Let's remember Akintayo did financial analytics and he transitioned to becoming a CFO. Same thing with Muhyiddin. Muhyiddin did data analysis and he also became a data analyst in UK. And of course, Joel did data engineering and he was also able to transition to become a data engineer, right? So don't say, okay, I want to be here because of the money, I want to be here. Be where your heart is directing you to be. And it doesn't have to be, you don't need to have a technical background for you to be able to say, I want to be here. Because all our courses are beginner friendly, that we are going to bring you up from ground zero to that expert level. So let's take a look at business analysis. What exactly is business analysis? So a business analyst is sort of an intermediary person that functions between the non-technical team and the technical guys. So it's someone that is reporting to all the Cs, the CEO, the CFO, the CCOs, as the case may be. And also he is liaising with the stakeholders, the developers, the analysts to know the state of things, right? So it's a bridge between these two people and to ensure he ensures effective communication and understanding of the requirements of that exact project. So bringing it down here at Analytics, we are going to look at things that start with process mapping, right? So for example, you're a fashion designer or you work for a big fashion house, and you are required to process map what they are doing in that exact industry. How you're going to look at it starting from, okay, maybe you're going to do your market analysis to get, okay, what's actually the market trend in respect to fashion. You come back to your office, you're now going to gather user requirements where someone walks into the shop and say, okay, I want to sew so and so style of clothes. And you can now comfortably take that person's requirements and then push it to design, where you now get to prepare that exact material and then push to production or push to test, where the customer comes back to the shop to test if the clothes fits or if it doesn't. So if the clothes fits, that's you pushing it out to production. And if it doesn't fit, you are taking it back to design. So these are things that organizations look out for, right? Because they need to understand and eliminate bottlenecks and also optimize the areas that they are doing so well. So as a business analyst, these are things that you look to optimize in industries. Okay, so after process mapping, you also get to learn project initiation planning. How exactly do projects start, right? And then you learn Agile and Scrum for projects. Like we all know, under project management, there are basically 2 main arms, right? And that's the waterfall and the Agile. Waterfall is just like you making use of the traditional method of project management, while Agile is the modern method of project management that works in iterations. So these are things that you are to learn, and also software development like ChatGPT for business analysis. But before you jump into all this core business analysis program, we'll walk you through Excel, Power BI,
Okay, I keep coming back.
right? So why exactly do we do business? Hi, Daniela, what do you say? Hi, Daniela.
It was breaking, but we can hear you now.
All right. Okay. Please confirm that you can still hear me now.
We can hear you now.
All right. So like I mentioned, as a business analyst, you also get to learn all the tools that a data analyst is functioning with, right? Starting with Excel, Power BI, and SQL, which will also prepare you to play in that exact domain. So you're going to learn tools, Excel, SQL, Power BI. You're going to learn Lucidchart, Draw.io, and of course, Jira. And these are things that we are going to equip you fully so that you can become an expert in the area of business analysis. And the learning timeline for business analysis, it's a 4-month program. right? Where you learn immersively in the classroom for 2 months, and then you move on to internship, where you also work on real life case studies. Okay, you are going to work on real life case studies that you will comfortably put in your portfolio, that in the end you can always present it to recruiters that these are the areas that you worked on. The classes for business analysis holds every Saturday and Sunday. On Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, and also 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. So we have the morning class and we have the evening class. You are now going to choose the one that fits your own time zone, right? And then on Sundays also, we have classes from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. West African time. And in the evening, we'll have from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. West African time. All right, so we've demarcated it like this so that people in Canada, US can comfortably join the evening class, while the people in Europe, UK, and Africa can comfortably join the morning class. Okay, so I can see a lot of questions dropping, but I'm going to take all the questions once I'm done explaining these areas. Okay, so moving on, we have the data analyst, right? So who exactly is a data analyst, right? So on this call, for example, we had close to 150 people joining us, and a data analyst can decide to, okay, let me analyze to know the demography of people that joined. How many people came from UK? How many people came from Africa? How many people came from US, as the case may be? And then you can decide to go in depth and ask, why did these things happen, right? So he is going to answer 2 questions, which is the descriptive analytics and the diagnostic analytics. Basically, the descriptive is going to look at the historical data and then answer the what happened question and tell you, okay, 30 people joined the call, 20 were from Africa, 10 from UK, as the case may be. Then the diagnostics will go further to tell you that is looking to identify a pattern to show, okay, this is why this happened. So bringing it down to this example, a data analyst can answer, okay, this is possibly because looking at the analytics marketing trend, they marketed more in Africa, that's why we have more Africans joining, or they marketed more in UK, that's why we have more people joining from UK. So you can comfortably answer 2 questions, which is the descriptive analytics and the diagnostic analytics. You answer the question of what happened and why it happened. And here at analytics, you are going to learn key areas that boils down to, first of all, problem solving. Because as a data analyst, there is one key thing that you want to do for companies. You want to be able to solve their problems. So we're going to walk you through several methods of solving problems, the CRISP-DM, the 5 whys, and ensure that you can comfortably use this method to solve problem issues that you are going to see. And after it will move you to Excel for analytics, right? You are going to use Excel to analyze data. We all heard what Muideen said. I think he said that when he joined, I don't know whether it's Muideen or Akintayo that mentioned that Excel, he thought he knew Excel so well that he could comfortably say, okay, I'm a 7, can rate me a 7 in Excel. But when he joined, he felt like he had a 2, right? Because we are going to walk you through everything that relates to using Excel for analytics, using Excel to build dashboards, and so on and so forth. And after it, we move you to SQL, that's structured query language, that you can comfortably use to query databases, right? Because if you are working in organizations, there will be need for you to, spool out data from the database and analyze it for the company. So we are going to walk you through how to use SQL to make this happen. And after it, we'll move you to Power BI and Tableau for visualizations, right? So they can be able to build visual dashboards that the stakeholders can comfortably look at and say, okay, this is what happened and this is why it happened. And another key area that we walk people through is understanding data storytelling. Because it's one thing to be able to do all these things, it's another thing for you to be able to join the story together. Because you need to be able to tell the story from point A to point B that you will carry everyone along. And after that, you move to ChatGPT for analytics and, of course, Microsoft Fabrics for analytics. This data analyst program lasts for 4 months or so, and you'll be in class learning for 3 months, after which you now move to the internship stage to also work on real-life case studies for 1 month. Just stay on the call. I'll also show us a visual of some people's portfolio after they were done training with us. So for data analyst program, it's on Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, and in the evening also from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. Then on Sundays, we have what we call Watch Me Do It videos. You are not going to have a live class, okay? But you'll be given short bite videos that you will watch so that you understand deeper concepts in the area that you have been taught in class, okay? So your live classes are only on Saturdays, either morning or evening. Then on Sundays, you get to watch the Watch Me Do It videos. And moving on to the data scientist. Remember, we said that a data analyst answers three basic questions, right? The descriptive, the diagnostic analytics, which is what happened and why it happened, right? But a data scientist, which I always try to refer to them as the people that see the future, goes a step further to add predictive analytics to what they are going to learn. Now, and how do they make this happen? Because they are going to learn machine models, right? They are going to learn forecasting and predictive analytics, which they are going to say, okay, this thing happened in year 1, this one happened in year 2, and if we continue on this trend, this is what is going to happen in year 3 and year 4 and year 5. So they are the people that see the future and predict what's going to happen after they've used machine learning methods and statistics to forecast all these things. And here, the key learning areas that you have, basically, like I mentioned, is statistics. So when I mention statistics, don't fidget, don't be scared. It's not going to be like the normal classroom statistics where you're going to learn theory. No. So what we also do is that we make sure that all our learning points are with real-life case studies, right? So if we're talking about forecasting, you are going to be working on models where you're going to be using it to instantly forecast what is going to happen. Right? It's not, okay, you enter class and we'll be saying, okay, what is forecasting? What is predictive analytics? No, you are going to be fully practical because that is what is necessary in the tech ecosystem. So after statistics and forecasting, you move to Tableau for data analytics. After it, you also move to SQL, and then you move to Python programming, right? So if you be hearing about Python, it's something that data scientists also make use of. And then you now move to exploratory data analysis, machine learning, like I mentioned, which you use to build models that can predict what is going to happen. And of course, computer vision, where you have to learn all those languages, GitHub version control, ChatGPT, and also Microsoft Fabrics for analytics. The data science program is also for 4 months, where you will learn immersively in the class for 3 months, and then have an internship period of 1 month that you are also going to work on further projects to enrich your portfolio. And the classes are also only on Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, and in the evening, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. Remember, you can only join one of these sessions and then you stick to that. And on Sundays, you now get to also watch these short bite videos that will also introduce you to new concepts in data science. And we also have the HR analysts, right? What do HR analysts do? So these are people that use data-driven insights to support what the human resource they are doing in organizations, right? So they optimize the process and the people by analyzing the people data. For example, instead of a proper HR analyst, instead of organizing exit interviews, you get organized, stay interview, because maybe you've noticed that from data, once someone gets to 3 years in your company, the person resigns. So that should prompt you to say, okay, if someone is in there maybe 2 years, 10 months, you need to start having stay interview with people in that exact category, so that you now start asking, okay, hi Chukwemeka, how can we make your stay here better? What do we need to do to optimize you and help you on your job? So you are going to start off by learning problem solving, right? Because as HR of organization, they want you to also be able to serve as an intermediary between the stakeholders and the people. So you need to be able to understand that problem solving aspect of organization. After which you also learn Excel, Power BI, and SQL like a data analyst, right? So everything that a data analyst will learn at the initial stage, you are going to learn it. And it starts with problem solving, Excel, Power BI, and SQL. After which you now transition and streamline what you're learning towards the HR fundamentals, right? So you start with HR analytics and then performance evaluation. Most organizations, before they transition to using big HRMIS platforms like maybe Seamless HR, as the case may be, some of them start off by using Excel to perform assessments, right? So how do you build models in your organization that you will use to do performance evaluation for your company? These are things that we are going to walk you through. And also the HR metrics and life cycle, HR analysis and dashboarding, collaboration and report automation, building your case and creating action, and of course, ChatGPT for analytics. The HR program also lasts for 4 months. You are going to learn massively in the class for 3 months before you now move to internship, where you get to also work on other projects for 1 whole month, right? The classes is only on Saturdays, morning and evening, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, and then 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. Then on Sundays, you also get the short bites videos that we call Watch Me Do It videos that you are going to use to learn further concepts in HR analytics. So by now, I'm sure you are taking note of everything I'm saying so that you can comfortably say, okay, this is the exact tech area that speaks to me, right? That's why we are taking the time to explain all the 8 courses to you so they can comfortably say, this is the exact area that I want to transition into, right? So the other one is financial analytics. That's what Akintayo did when he was with us, the CFO that just left the call, right? So who is exactly a financial analyst? So these are people that use financial data to provide insight into a company financial performance, right? So you've been able to analyze that, okay, in year 1, we were able to have this as our CapEx, we had this as our OpEx. That means if we continue going on this exact route, by year 2, it means that maybe our profit is either going to drop or is going to, skyrocket depending on how we manage all those expenses, right? So we are going to walk you through the exact financial analysis that you need. But first, we'll walk you through problem solving, Excel, Power BI, and SQL, right? So you are also going to learn the tools that a data analyst uses for their own day-to-day jobs. After which you now streamline your own learning process to the accounting fundamentals, financial analysis, financial modeling, where you get to build models, and then valuation, sensitivity and scenario analysis, and of course, ChatGPT for analytics. And the financial analytics program is also for 4 months, where you get to learn massively in the class for 3 months, and then have a 1-month internship program. Then the program is only on Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, and 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. Then on Sundays, you will get the self-paced Watch Me Do It video that you will comfortably watch to prepare yourself further for the next class. Then we also have the data engineers, right? Who are the data engineers, right? So these are people that are responsible for, designing and constructing and joining everything together, right? They build the infrastructure that others use to analyze their data. So as a data engineer, we see it's like a plumber that works in a construction house that tends to connect the water system, the bathroom, all the water, all the anything that deals with water, the shower in your house, and then channels it to maybe the septic tank, right? So this is what a data engineer also does. He builds all those architecture to make sure that at any point a data analyst wants to pull data from the database, he or she can comfortably get all these things, right? So they, connect the staging area, the database, and then you push it to analytics for your own experience, which is what we call you extract, you transform, and you load. For example, they can decide to extract data from Twitter and then take it into the database and transform it, and then load it into that database before it now comes out as a refined data in front end of the program that they are building. So for data engineers, you are going to learn also you start with Introduction to Data Engineering. Remember, all our courses are beginner friendly, which means we are going to walk you through from the beginner stage of that exact program to the expert level. So walk you through Introduction to Data Engineering, SQL, that's structured query language, Python programming, Linux, and then how to build ETL pipelines, right? How do you connect maybe your Twitter API to your database and be able to scrape it inside there? You are going to learn all these things. And of course, Apache Spark and Apache Airflow, which you are going to use for automation. So you've noticed that in your organization, there's a process that they always do manually. How do you, as a data engineer, automate that exact process that maybe by 8 a.m. every day, you want social reports to be sent to the CFO of that organization? These are things that you are going to learn. And of course, AWS Cloud Engineering, version control with GitHub, and ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot. So for data engineering program, it runs for 5 months. So data engineering runs for 5 months, where you will learn immersively in the classroom for 3 months, after which you now move to internship and work on real-life case studies for 2 months. So the classes are only on Saturdays from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. All right? The classes are only on Saturdays from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. West African time. And then on Sundays, you get the short bites videos, which you are going to use to learn concepts before the classes start. So the other one that we also offer is Scrum Master. Who exactly is the Scrum Master? I always mention Scrum Master is partly the only area in tech that gets to transition without writing any single line of code, right? You are not writing any single line of code. It's a no-code area. And simply put, a Scrum Master is like a coach that brings all these teams together to make sure that they are using the agile methodology to perform what they are doing. For example, today, if you go to Instagram, they've moved, maybe one icon has shifted and is now up. If you tap on to like a picture, it's now a big heart. That's because they've created sprints and they're working on these things iteratively. They do not wait till the entire Instagram is ready before pushing it out. They just push things from backlog, push it to sprint planning, and then move it to actual sprint and work on it. And once it's ready, they push it to production. So you are going to learn how to do all these things using a project management tool called Jira, right? So you are going to learn this, and with the key learning area that you will have is basically introduction to Scrum. It's like, what exactly is Scrum and how does the Scrum team function? You now move to artifacts and ceremonies, and then the Scrum artifacts has to speak about the product backlog. For example, if you want to build a mobile app, what are the key things that you need to put in your product backlog? So see it like this. If you want to cook jollof rice, what are the ingredients that you need to cook that jollof rice? That's how a Scrum Master also sees, if you want to build a product, what are the things I need for that product to come to fruition? So he will now bring all those things and put it in the product backlog. Then from the product backlog, he's now picking one of them and pushing it to sprints. Maybe you want to build a mobile app. You have the first one, which is profile creation. It's already in your product backlog. So you pick it from product backlog and push to sprint plan, where you now have to look at profile creation. What and what do I need to do to create a profile? When I start talking, okay, we collect the name, we fill the password, all and so on and so forth. So these are things that a Scrum Master will work. You are going to learn as a Scrum Master. And of course, you also get to learn the Scrum events, Nexus Scaled Scrum, which is the highest level of Scrum for you to have. And then everything that you are going to learn in class will prepare you for the PSM examination, which is Professional Scrum Master. Okay. And then for the Scrum Master program, it runs for 2 months, where you will learn in the class massively for 1 month, right? And then you have the other 1 month to work on real life case studies that you are going to put in your portfolio. So for the Scrum Master program, it holds every Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and on Sundays, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Okay? Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, and then on Sundays, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. West African time. Now, the last, which is cybersecurity, speaks to people that tend to protect our digital assets, right? So on day-to-day basis, we always see instances where people are using social engineering to try to get your data from Twitter, from Instagram, from WhatsApp, as the case may be. So simply by you performing a 2FA, that, okay, if someone wants to log into your device, your WhatsApp from another device, it will ask the person to put the other authentication, which only you know. So this is you practicing cybersecurity at that little scale. Now, organizations also experience this on a larger scale, right? They experience this on a larger scale where they also get to have attacks from all these people that we know these days, right? So that is why cybersecurity is important. And there are people that tends to protect the organization's system, networks, and digital assets from cyber threats. And then in the classroom, what do you get to learn? First off, we are going to walk you through foundation of computing and networking, right? So what it means is that you are going to learn little things like what is CPU, what is keyboard, because we don't know your level with respect to computing. That is why we have to walk you through from that ground level and then gradually move you to introduction to cyber security, and then move you to information security principles, where you learn things that has to do with NDPR, GDPR, ISO 27001, as the case may be, and then offensive and defensive cyber security, cryptography basics, cyber threat and attack vectors, network security, endpoint security, web and application security, cloud security, and of course, incident response and forensics, before we also bring you to cyber security policies and compliance, right? So the cyber security program runs for 4 months, where you will learn massively in the class for 3 months before going to internship to work on real life case studies, right? And the program is on Saturdays and Sundays. It's on Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and then on Sundays, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., or West African time, right? So I've mentioned all the 8 courses that we offer. And the first thing for you to start your journey is for you to identify your own target role, right? So I want us to put in the chat box the area that we have identified as this is where I want to transition to, right? I've mentioned all the 8 courses. I've explained what they mean. So which area speaks to you? Where do you want to transition into? Because that's the first decision to your journey, right? So I want us to type it in the chat box so that I will also know that we are following till this exact moment. Look, I can see a couple of chats dropping: data science, financial analysis, cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is very broad sector in tech, which aspects you've been focusing on. We'll handle that, Lucky. So we are going to give you everything that we've mentioned: network security, endpoint security, the G, governance, risk and compliance aspect of it, right? And then in the end, you will now decide where you want to specialize in. Okay, I can see all the area that we have chosen to specialize, to transition into. Fantastic. So you have made that first journey into your own start. If you have made the first step into your journey, right? Because we have the 6 pillars for you to achieve this exact success. And it starts with you identifying your own target role. So the way you've identified, okay, I want to transition to be a data science, next step is for you to educate yourself, right? These are the places that we now come in to help you, because we are going to educate you in that exact domain, and then also move you to level 3, which is where you gain practical experience. Because like I mentioned, all our programs are case study based, that you are going to work with case studies that at the point that you are done training, can comfortably show your portfolio as things that you did. And after it, also walk you through how to develop your employability skills, right? Because first thing is to get the skill and the competence, and then next is to build your CV. How do you tell all these things? Because the truth is that your CV most likely is going to get to companies before you come to defend yourself. So we are going to walk you through all those areas as well. And also networking and mentorship. So once you complete these 6 pillars, you are a fully certified person in the domain that you have selected to be in. And these are things that we are going to walk you through. So in just 1 minute, I'm going to show portfolio of our past students so that we get to see what they worked on while they were in our own classes. Okay, what did the exact student work on when she was with us? So I'm going to share my screen to show her portfolio as at the time that she was leaving our own training program. Okay, so this is our past students portfolio, and as you can see data analysis portfolio. This contains my project and abilities that across diverse sectors. So I'm going to start off. This is what she worked on, right? So she worked on a deep care hospital ER visit analysis. So by the time that this student was done, she can comfortably say that she consulted for 10Alytics in the HR in the health sector. So by virtue of working on this exact thing, she has experience in the health sector. If you click here to see the data set, you are going to see the amazing dashboard that she was able to come up with. So it's coming up. All right, it's up. So this is what she worked on in that exact case study. This is what she worked on. So she was able to build this exact model after she was done training with us. And this is just one of it. If you go back to that exact portfolio also, you'll see the one that she did for Red Dot Airline. And these are things that you will be giving the case studies in the class. And these are real life case studies that we simply codify their names, right? So by working on the Red Dot Airline, she can comfortably say that she has worked in the aviation industry, or she has consulted in the aviation industry. And this is the dashboard that she was able to build after she was done with her training in that exact area. Then this is also the one she did for Express Tech Food Delivery, which speaks to supply chain industry, right? So she can also comfortably say that she has consulted in supply chain industry. And this is the dashboard that she was able to come up with after she was done with that exact case study. And so on and so forth. She worked on Nestle product analysis, which comfortably cuts across the FMCG. She worked on Zenith Electronics, which cuts across the tech ecosystem, right? So these students can comfortably say that she has consulted in health sector, she has consulted in aviation sector, she has consulted in the supply chain industry, she consulted in FMCG, and of course, the tech ecosystem. And that is just within a space of 4 months, right? And this is what we say when we say that our training is always case study based, that you are going to be working on real life case studies that is going to prepare you, that you can easily tell recruiters, this and this are my own portfolio. These are things I worked on. So ensure to put your name in the attendance form that my colleague is passing around so that you can have access to this slide. You can also go to the next one and see the portfolio of the other students. And these are things they were able to come up with after training with us for 4 months. Okay, what exactly separates us from every other trainer out there? So basically, we've helped over 2,000 people transition from the classroom into their first jobs across the globe, right? We've helped people in UK, in US, in Canada, and we have a track record of this success, right? So we'll stay on. I'll also play some couple of video at the end. We've seen our students come in. Someone is now a CFO after training with us. Someone is a data engineer, and Muideen is also a data analyst. So these are things that differentiates us from every other trainer outside there. And number 2 is that we have industry standard facilitators and curriculum. So how do we do this, right? Because all our courses are case study based. We bring in facilitators from industries, experts that are currently working, to come into the classroom to talk to you on these areas. So if you listen to when Damilola introduced this session, you hear things like we have facilitators coming from our InterSwitch, from Google, from KPMG, coming to class to teach you things that you need to know. And that's what differentiates us from every other trainer outside there. And also we have a blended training model that the way you have me speaking to you, that's the way you also have your facilitator speak to you every Saturday and Sunday, as the case may be. And the sessions are recorded, that you will have live access to it in your Google Classroom or your learning management system platform, where you get to also go back and rewatch any video in the end that maybe peradventure you missed the class. You can always go back and rewatch that video in your learning management platform or your Google Classroom. And also, our sessions are tailored for you to land your first job, right? Because we have experts that experience these things. They sort of teach you things that you need to know for you to get a job. And that is what differentiates us, because we also provide to you employability services that are going to make you land that exact job. And number one is CV review. So after we have done equipping you with the skill and competence that you need to perform, next thing is also to mold your CV to represent who you are, right? So these things we are going to teach you. How do you match your CV to the job that you are trying to apply to? Because you can put in your CV that, okay, you have SQL knowledge, but then the recruiter is saying, I need someone that has Postgres knowledge. Now, these two things are the same, right? But if you don't match your CV to represent Postgres, the applicant's tracking system will reject you on the basis that you do not have this exact skill. So we'll teach you how to match your CV to all this area. And of course, LinkedIn optimization, where you also get to optimize your LinkedIn. We heard when Akintayo said that when he was done optimizing his LinkedIn, recruiters are still reaching out to him through LinkedIn on a job, right? But he has already transitioned to become a CFO for another company as at that moment. And we'll also walk you through Upwork optimization. How do you play in the contractual space that you can be in Nigeria and you're working for a company in US or in Canada or in UK? It is possible because you have students that are also playing in this exact area. And of course, we teach you how to navigate the job market. How do we do this? We bring in expert recruiters in UK, in Africa, in Canada, as the case may be, to come and teach you what's the trend with respect to recruitment right now. What are recruiters looking out for, so that you can prepare yourself ahead of time before getting into that exact space. And of course, number 5, which is job and interview prep. So at any point that you get an interview invite, you can comfortably book a session with us where we teach you how to use the sit and start approach to answer questions. So when they ask you a question of, hi, Chukwemeka, who are you? Do I go and say, okay, I'm Chukwemeka from Anambra, I have 20 children, as the case may be? No, you need to tailor it to the start approach and make use of it to answer your question, right? And then we also provide recommendation and reference letters, because you have said that you consulted for 10Alytics, right? So at any point that a further recruiter asks, okay, I want a reference letter from this company that you consulted with, we are always here to provide the recommendation and reference letter for you. And level 2 of this employability services is weekly mentorship session. So every Thursday, we have a 1-hour sessions where we bring in people to come to talk to you on topics that trends. Okay, maybe a day in the life of a data analyst. How was I able to be selected as a candidate? They speak to you how it impacted them personally. So some of us struggle to, enter into the tech space. Maybe we are playing around for 2 years, studying so many things. MongoDB will come out, we'll study anything that comes out, we jump and learn it. And that's because we do not have mentors. But we also provide you with mentors that will come to class and guide you to things that you need to know. And number 8, which is on-the-job support. If you get a job and you are still struggling, we are also available to provide support for you 1 month into that job until you can comfortably find your footing. And all these things we've done to ensure that you get this level 3, which is basically a guarantee that 1 month after completing your training session, you must get an interview invite, right? And that's because we've given you the skill and competence, we've molded your CV, we've taught you how to navigate the job market, we've prepped you for that exact interview. And all these things is geared towards getting you that exact job that you need. Okay, this is just what the class duration and structure that I've mentioned before now. So I am going to skip that. So most people always feel that this is impossible, right? And that's why we brought in past students to speak to you that they were able to transition. Like there are a lot of myths when people are trying to transition. Some people will hear things like, okay, you can't transition if you are old, you can't transition if you don't have any technical background. All these things are just fallacies, right? And that's what Muhyiddin, Joe, and Akintayo has tried to demystify earlier on. Okay, so I am going to come back to this video so that we hear what Ikmat had to say about her own training. But the amazing thing right now is that our next cohort is starting next weekend. That's June 8th, right? Our next cohort starts June 8th. And we have an amazing offer for you. So we have what we call the early bird discount for the first 30 people to register for each training program. And that is a 20% discount, right? So for data analytics, for business analysis, for HR analysis, for financial analytics, for full stack data science, data engineering, and cybersecurity, they all go for the same pricing. And the full amount is $750, £625, 730 euros, 1,125 Canadian dollar, and 900,000 naira. But we are giving you a discount, a 20% discount by virtue of you being on Discord to experience this. And what it means is that you get to pay $600, 500 pounds, 580 euros, 900 Canadian dollar, and 720,000 naira. And of course, you can structure your payments instrumentally, right? What it means is that you can make a first payment and secure this exact slot, because it's something that's only reserved for the first 30 people, right? So if you want to reserve the spot, you can make the first payment and reserve it. Then 1 month into the session, into the class, you can now make the second payment of completion. That means you can pay $400 to start, 350 pounds, 400 euros, 600 Canadian dollars, and 720 and 500,000 naira to enter the class. Then 1 month into that exact program, you can now make the complete payment. For Scrum, it's a little bit different, right? So what it means is that the program runs for $450, 375 pounds, 440 euros, 675 Canadian dollars, and 540,000 naira. But instead of paying that exact price, you also get to make the discounted price, which is $360, 300 pounds, 350 euros, 540 Canadian dollar, and 430,000 naira. So how do you make this exact payments, right? So my colleague just dropped the link for making payment, but I'm going to walk us through how we can make these payments. So the link that my colleague dropped in the chat box, once you click on it, it's going to bring you to what we call the 10Alytics enrollment page, right? It will bring you to 10Alytics enrollment page. So my screen will come up right now. Yeah, the 10Alytics enrollment page. So once you scroll down, you are going to see the normal pricing, and then you are going to see the programs that we are offering: Scrum Master, Data Analytics, Business Analysis, Data Science, Cybersecurity, Data Engineer, as the case may be. So I love cybersecurity. So let me click on cybersecurity. So if I want to enter as a cybersecurity analyst, I simply click on it, and it's going to bring up the main stack page for me, right? So you are going to see the pricing, 720,000 naira. Then if I want to make the complete amount, I'll simply click on the reserve a seat. But if I want to pay instrumentally, I can decide to put 500,000 naira, which is the minimum amount, and then click on the reserve a seat. Now, I'm getting the naira, the NGN, because I'm in Nigeria. If you're in UK, you are going to see your option in pounds. If you're in US, you are going to see it in dollars. If you're in Canada, you're going to see it in CAD, and so on and so forth, right? So once you click on it, to bring out the checkout option, where you simply put your name, put your email address, put the flag of the country you are in, so they can put your phone number, and then put your phone number, and then simply click on proceed. So once I click on proceed, it will bring up the option for me whether I want to make payments using my card or transfer or USSD or pay as the case may be. So if I want to make use of card, I'll simply put my card details here, put the expiry date, the CVV, and click to pay. If I want to make transfer, I'll simply click on the transfer, and then it's going to bring out the bank for me to make payments, which is Paystack Titan. And then I'll simply copy the account number, go to my bank account, and make the transfer. So once you are done with this exact making payments, the next thing for you to do is to also go back to that same enrollment center so that you can upload your payments receipts, right? So what you are going to do is simply go back to that same page, which is 10Alytics enrollment page. Okay, let me go back to it so that I can show us comfortably how to upload our receipt. So once you are done making payments, simply come back to this exact page and scroll down. You see the option to upload your receipt, right? So once you click on upload your receipt, which is here, upload your receipt, right? You now simply follow the process, put the screenshots, select the program that you paid for, and simply we are going to reach out to you with the welcome kit, right? We will reach out to you with the welcome kit. Remember, this is starting June 8th. That is next week, right? The best time to get into tech is always right now, because tomorrow might be too late. Okay, so I don't know if at this point there are people that have question. If you have question, you can put it in the chat box, or you can use the raise hand icon, and I'm going to take that exact question and answer it for you. Okay, so you can also scan this barcode, and it is going to take you to the exact main stack link for you to be able to make payments. Okay, so if you have question, you are free to drop it in the chat box. You are free to use the raise hand icon, and I'm going to ask you to unmute so that we will take your question. Okay, I'm waiting for people. Okay, I can see a couple of hands. Fantastic. So let me check the first person. Okay, Adeola. Hi, Adeola. I've asked you to unmute. You have the floor, please. Hi, Adeola. I've asked you to unmute.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Hi. Okay, I just want to ask, like, I currently work as an HR generalist. So I'm thinking that do you have a class for just Excel? Because that's what I actually need on the job right now.
Okay, at the moment, no, we don't have just for Excel. All right, so they are all a full package program. For example, data analyst, you learn the Excel, learn the Power BI, learn the SQL, right? But what even happens in class sometimes is that when people are done learning just Excel, they instantly start applying to jobs, right? So what I advise you is to look towards that as that area where you get the full package of what you need. Okay, so we don't have, we are not breaking it down because we are giving everyone that full packaged deal. I don't know if that makes sense to you, Adiola.
It does, but like I mentioned, I currently have the job. I work in Canada. So like, so that's the difference. I'm not just trying to transition. So Excel is actually my current most needed skills right now.
All right, and who can actually help you with that exact needed skill is now maybe because the courses are also, the program is recorded, right? It can be, because Excel is always the first thing to learn. You can decide to learn this exact area, and then you can do what you want with the others, but we always offer all of them as a full package. All right, thank you for that question, Adiola. Hi, King Francis. I've asked you to unmute. You have the floor, King.
Yeah, sorry. My quick question is, you said the cybersecurity cost is $500. The discount is $500, isn't it?
Which are the programs, King?
Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop.
Oh, Internet
Sorry.
of Things. Yeah, go ahead, please.
You said the what do you call it? The cybersecurity cost is £500. The discount, isn't it?
No, it's 710. Is okay, pounds. Yeah, it's £500. Yeah, it's £500.
So when you say you can make it, so when you say you can pay twice, so it's, say for example, you can one do it 250, 250.
Of course, you can, but preferably, what we advise is 350, 150. All right. But if you want to make 250, 250, just email this if you want a different structure, there is an email that my colleagues will drop, which is Nena 10Alytics, where you can send to make that exact structure. Okay. But we advise you to make 350, 150. Okay.
So basically this is not my first masterclass, but I want to start with your June class. So, but I would prefer to do it half and half.
All right, that's possible. So simply go to the main stack link. You can make 250. Then 1 month into the program, you will now make the other payment option.
Sure.
All right. Yeah, that is possible. King, that is possible.
All right.
All right. So fantastic.
Do you have like a number? Do you have like a number one can call so I can call tomorrow? Because I'm off work tomorrow, so I can call tomorrow and know what to do.
All right. So my colleagues just will drop that shortly. The email address and of course the numbers. Okay, they have dropped it. So Aimwa at Analytics just dropped it for you. King, I don't know whether you got that. So you can chat, you can call the exact number. Okay.
All right.
All right, but King, just to chip in, remember the discount is for the first 30 people. And what
that's what I'm saying.
That's
what I want to make the payment tomorrow morning.
Okay.
The 250 in the morning tomorrow morning. So I just need to be sure that I can make it. So I want to call someone in the morning when I want to do it and do what I need to do. By the end of June, I'll send the balance.
All right, fantastic. That's possible.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much for that, King. So to the next person. Hi, Lucky. I've asked you to unmute. You have the floor, Lucky.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Please go ahead.
Okay, so I was going to ask a question earlier on regarding cybersecurity when I said it's a very broad sector in tech, and which area of it you were going to be focusing on. You did mention you're going to be touching on everything. So don't you think touching on everything would be too much information overload? Because the reason I'm saying this is because I've done a training before and it was exactly the same thing. They ended up touching on everything and overloading you with so much information that at the end of the day, it was as good as you were just touching on the surface of different things and not actually focusing on one and drilling it down. So wouldn't it be best to pick a line, drill it down to the end so we can actually come out as super savvy on that particular line that you've taken and drilled down on?
All right. I love that question, Lucky. One key, what I always refer cybersecurity to is medicine, right? It's just like saying for a medical doctor, you should just carry the person and throw the person into pediatrics, right? Without learning all those biology, chemistry, and so on and so forth, as the case may be, right? So all those foundational things are actually very important, right? And that's why we structure it to start with you understanding computing and networking. Because basically, it can't function as a GRC person, that's governance, risk, and compliance. It can't even enact all those policies if you don't understand what IP is, right? Because under NDPR, if you want to do ISO as a GRC person, you cannot fully function without even understanding, okay, what am I protecting? What are the digital assets, right? So that's why we tend to make sure that everyone has that initial knowledge that can instantly start you off either in the GRC space or as a SOC analyst, as the case may be, because you are going to learn these things practical. You are going to be installing Kali Linux. You are going to be using the virtual box to try and be intercepting threats. So all these things, you are going to work all those areas in the classroom, okay? So we'll walk you through the practical aspects of cybersecurity that revolves around threats, cyber threats and attack vectors, and how to use Kali Linux, how to use the virtual box to do all those preventions. And also, walk you through the theoretical aspect of understanding cybersecurity that has to do with the GRC, the policy aspect, and so on and so forth. So it's basically like you saying, okay, if you just push this person to be a neurosurgeon without passing through understanding what the core or the basics of medicine is actually. So I don't know if this makes sense to you, Lucky. But trust me,
it does.
it's not like the initial area that you have learned from. Because what we try to do is to use case study to explain each of the topics that we handle. So if you are having foundation in computing, we are working on it to take case study. If you are looking at offensive and defensive cyber security, we are working on a case study. And these are things that you can now comfortably put in your portfolio at the end of the program and comfortably say that you worked on this, you worked on that, you were able to use Kali Linux to intercept a threat, and so on and so forth, as the case may be. I don't know if that makes sense to you now, Lucky.
Yeah, that makes sense. And just so I don't keep every other person waiting, you've touched on the risk and compliance angle of cybersecurity. You've touched on security operation analysis. And is it to say that is torn between SOC analysis and GRC, which is risk and compliance? Are those the two sections you're going to be focusing on in the training? Is there going to be cloud security?
Of course, there is cloud security, Lucky. So I'm currently showing the cybersecurity learning area. If you look at number 8, you start looking at network security. At number 9, you're looking at endpoint security. 10, you are moving to web and application security, cloud security, and of course, incident response and forensics. Basically, the blue team, I don't want to go deeper into cybersecurity because we have the red team and the blue team, right? People that, are attack-minded and people that are defense-minded. And all those things we are going to touch on all those teams in the classroom. And it's now you that will now decide, okay, this is where I find my strength in. Or maybe you want to, for example, we have lawyers that are trying to transition to cybersecurity. Most of them decide to be in the GRC aspect of things, but they will also still get that knowledge of the red team so that they can also be able to enact policies that are requisite for their own job. I don't know if that makes sense to you now, Lucky.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right, thank you. So will I be seeing you in class this June?
I'm looking at July actually for myself.
For July?
Yeah, I'm looking at July. I saw the two dates and I think I submitted for July.
Okay. What I will also advise people to do is that, like Akintayo mentioned, for example, this year, these courses we are going for 450 just in March, right? In April, it changed. This is May and is 720 at the moment. So I always advise people to lock down the exact pricing at the points that they see it, right? And then you can now defer for 1 month. So if your intention is to start in July, I'll advise you to, lock down this exact pricing, and then before the month of July, you can now make the exact payment. Because one thing I'm assuring you is that pricing now definitely will be different from pricing by tomorrow. I don't know if that makes sense to you, Lucky.
Yeah, it does, but you should actually also have a certain level of consideration for people that now I'm in this training. I mean, this session, I meant to say, not like the training per se. I mean, this session, you have my records, I filled a register and all of that. You've seen that I attended this session, and then I indicated on your form that I want to go into July. So if July comes and I'm able to show, or you can see from your record that, oh, this person actually indicated interest in June, but to start in July because you gave me that option. That should be consideration enough for this price that you've put together now, the price structure you have now.
I think I lost Lucky there.
Pin down for
Is it
me.
my network? Hi, Damila. Please confirm if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi, Damila. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I can hear you. I think his network is... I don't know if I can be heard though.
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead with your question.
Right, so what I was trying to say to him is that now there's been a register for today's lecture and other lectures prior to now. We filled out a form. You've given us the option to indicate whether or not we want to start in June or July. And we've indicated to start in July. So if July comes and I'm to make payment, if the prices change, you should, Hello?
Yeah, Anthony, I'm with you. Please go ahead.
Okay, yeah. If the prices change, you should be able to consider the fact that, oh, these are people that actually indicated interest in June, and you should be able to hold down the going prices as of June for us to begin in July with, and not have us start paying your changed prices in July.
Yeah, I
Right.
get where you're coming from.
Okay, yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that. I think I had a little network glitch. So I honestly understand you. But one thing about financials is that all these things are actually continuously moving, right? So it's not really that you are locking it down, but it's the economic condition of everywhere we are that is making it to be the way it is. We all know.
I'm coming from, sorry to cut you, I'm coming from the angle of you giving us the options on your form as of today. Do you want to start in June or start in July? You understand? If the only option you had was in June, and then you mention it to us in July that on this training that the next class is going to be in July, which would have its own price structure, then it's fine if I want to wait for July. But on your form, you already asked me, do you want to start in June or start in July?
Yeah,
I don't
and
know if
that
that
is
makes
because,
sense.
yeah, I understand you, Lucky, and that's because anyone that makes payments have option to defer for only 1 month. So even the deferral can't exceed July. So nobody can make payments now and say they want to start in August, right? So the highest deferral anybody can make is in July, and that's why we're asking whether you want to start in June or July, because that's the only month that we can comfortably say, okay, this is likely what is going to happen. But
Okay, so
nobody can say in August, this is how the economic condition is going to be.
I understand it now. I pay now, but I start in July, right?
Exactly.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I get it.
All right. Thank you
All
so
right, no
much
problem.
for that, Lucky. I think
All
I still have Adiola. Adiola, I don't know whether this is a new hand or the old one. Hi, Adiola. Are you there? All right. Hi, Ikechukwu. Ikechukwu, I've asked you to unmute. You have the floor, please. Adiola. Okay, I think you've muted. Ikechukwu, please go ahead. Hi, Ikechukwu. Are you there? All right, while we're waiting for Ikechukwu, Damilola, I don't know, I can't see some of the messages because of the glitch I had. But if you don't want to speak, please, you can drop the question.
Speaking. Hi, Ikechukwu speaking. Can you hear me?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Yeah, Ikechukwu calling from Nigeria. Yeah, Warri precisely. I paid, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, yes, Ikechukwu speaking. Yeah, I paid a first installment, 30th April, for the 33% discount. When the offer was 33%, I paid 100,000 naira to secure the 33% discount. And that's April 30th. Then I think May, I have to check my record, but I think middle of May, I paid 500,000 to secure the 600,000. One of the section that was heard at days told me that because I complained about the finance aspect, but because of the determination to get into the program as a data for the full stack and data scientist, which I opt for, I paid the balance and I made a deferment. But when I paid that one, I made a deferment for July. For July 6th cohort class, So since I made that payment, I've reached out I sent a mail to Nene. I have not gotten a reply yet, to what is to expect next. Or, I think I got, it has been recorded. I have not gotten any mail yet to really know my stand or know what to expect.
Yeah, I understand. So basically,
because I've put in the class, I made what they call a deferment for July.
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you, Kechu. So we got it, right? So what we do is that because your special case, you wanted to defer further than the normal period. So 1 week to the classes starting, you are going to get your welcome kit to start. Hi, Daniela, can you hear me? Hi, Daniela, please, can you hear me? Or this is...
We can hear you now, although we lost you for like a couple of seconds.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
All right. So Ikechukwu, what I was saying is that we got it, but what happens is that 1 week to the classes starting, you are going to get, Ikechukwu has left, you are going to get the welcome kit. I think it's Ikechukwu's network, right? 1 week to starting the class, you are going to get the welcome kit to that exact class. Okay. All right, then I don't know if there are questions in the chat box that requires my attention. Please advise us to pick up their emails. Hi, Glorious. Okay, definitely, I'm sure your email will be responded to. Okay. I don't know if there are any other questions from anyone. Please use the raise hand icon or drop it in the chat box and I am going to pick it from there. Hi, Lucky, your hand is still up. I don't know if that's the initial one or a new one. Ola, I said you have a question. Ola, I'm going to ask you to unmute so that you can speak now. Hi, Ola, I've asked you to unmute. Please go ahead with your question. Hi, Ola. If you're speaking, we cannot hear you. Hi, Ola. Okay, while waiting for Ola, Osta, you're free to drop your question or your request so that we can, answer it. Okay, you can drop it in the chat box. You can raise your hand so that I can find you and ask you to unmute. Okay, Osta. Hi, Osta. I've asked you to unmute. You have the floor.
Hello.
Hi. All right, go ahead, please. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, my name is Osita. I'm calling from UK. I want to make an appeal for the instrumental payment. If I can actually spread the payment into four of the months or the duration of the class. Is that gonna be possible?
Okay, this is a special request. What I will do for you is that my colleague will drop an email that's finance@10Alytics. So what you can do is that you can email that exact email and ask and table how you want to handle your own payment. And then someone is going to reach out to you with if that's going to happen. Okay, so I've dropped it in the chat box, finance@10alytics.org. So you can send an email to that exact handle and analyze and see how you want your own payment structure to be. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, I can see a couple of people having the same challenge. So the email is in the chat box, finance@10alytics.org. So you can comfortably send an email to that exact email, and we are going to pick it up and respond to it on need basis. Okay. All right, do you have any other question from anyone? Hi, Ikechukwu, your hand is up. I don't know whether that's the old one. You have the floor. Hi, Ikechukwu, I've asked you to unmute. You have the floor.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yes, please. My question that I asked about the payment I made, because of network, I didn't hear response to my question.
Yeah, so what I said is that it is recorded. We recorded it, right? So what we do is that 1 week before that exact class starts, you will get the welcome kit bringing you to class. Okay? So you are going to get the welcome kit.
I didn't hear
1 week. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it's glitching. I'll get the welcome kit 1 week to my class.
Exactly.
Okay. Secondly, another question: what with during the class? What if there's there's network issue over here? I'm experiencing a network issue. What start of this class when there's network issue? Sometimes there's network glitch off. That's the issue we're having over here in Nigeria anyway. But how can we
in the STEM field?
Hi everyone.
All right.
My
So
name is
what happens? So what happens is that during classes, the sessions are also recorded, right? So they are always recorded. That at any point you miss anything, you can always go back to your learning management system to watch the recorded version. Okay, or you can go to your Google Classroom and watch the recorded version. So once we finish the class, we'll upload the recording of that exact class to your Google Classroom for you to watch it later on. So if you miss the class or if you had network glitch or anything, you can always go back to that recording and watch it afterwards.
Yeah, thank you very much. I get that. Thirdly, I'm still asking a question, please. I just want to pour out some things on my mind. Thirdly, how can I've not actually seen an evidence of probably somebody in Nigeria landing a job, a remote job, which is my desire, joining this program and to create impact actually, to land a foreign job from Nigeria.
Yeah,
I've not
it's actually
any
exists.
video, any evidence like that. I've seen somebody in UK. I've seen in UK getting a job, landing a job, one of your alumnus, but in Nigeria, landing a job in UK, a remote job, which is my goal also. I've not seen.
So let me check if we have that. Okay. So Abdurrashid is in Abuja. He's in Nigeria and he landed a full-time role as a data scientist with Child 420 US, right? And we have a couple of others like him, right? So if you go through the slide, you will see people like him. If you go through our YouTube channel, you also see people like Sheyi that reside in Nigeria and that are working for companies that are not in Nigeria. Okay, so these things are possible, and you have people that have already transitioned through this exact means. Lots of them. Okay, I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Okay. That makes sense. I want to ask a fourth question, but it's not readily called.
All right. So while we're waiting for you to get that question, I think you are glitching, Ikechukwu. We can't hear you anymore. Ikechukwu, I think you can type in your question and then we are going to pick it up from there, okay? So hi Ezine. I'm going to ask you to unmute now.
Charlie, but it's not really coming to mind. People want to ask some questions. Yeah.
Hello, Ikechukwu. Hello, Chukwemeka.
Yeah, hi Ezine, please go ahead.
Yeah. I want to ask, you mentioned Thursdays that you have sections or dropping or something. So I want to know what time on Thursdays.
Okay, so Thursdays 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. depending on the agreement of the class. So it's just a 1 hour mentorship class where we sort of discuss these things. So it's basically in the night, 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. West African time, depending on the exact program that you want to join.
All right.
Okay. Ezina, are you looking to join us this June? Okay, you are muted. Hi, Daddy JJ, your hand is up. I've asked you to unmute. Hi, Daddy JJ, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so my question is for the cybersecurity classes, you said Saturday and Sunday. I didn't know like plan for evening classes. It's just during the day. I don't know. Or is it like either Saturday and Sunday, or is it Saturday and Sunday, then the times that are being listed? And if that's
so for cybersecurity, it is Saturday and Sunday, right? And it runs from 11 a.m. West African time to 2 p.m. on Saturday, and then 2 p.m. West African time to 5 p.m. West African time on Sunday. But what we normally do, because cybersecurity, the influx is not always much, what we do is that once everyone comes together, they can decide to have, if they all agree, they can decide to have another time that works for them. So, but for cybersecurity, we only have that morning class and then the afternoon class on Sundays. And it's both of them are different classes. It's not all, it is and. I don't know if you understand that, Daddy JJ.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, thank you.
All right. Okay, I think I've addressed all the questions, all the hands that are up. Okay, if you have any question up till now, please use the raise hand icon or drop it in the chat box and I am going to pick it up. While I'm waiting for it, some people missed the session where others spoke. So I'm just going to play this video of what Matt had to say.
I was with the March cohort in 10Alytics, and joining 10Alytics has been the best decision so far. You know, for me, someone coming from a background of full housewife, because I had to stay back home to look after my child for 4 years, and then wanting to break into something new, wanting to go back into the workforce, you know, wanting to place myself in the society for better job opportunities. So it was a lot. And then I'm glad that 10Alytics came along, and then they presented me with so many opportunities right in front of me, better opportunities. And then I'm glad I took it. And then also the advice of do not sell yourself short, that Effie is always saying, it is very, very valid, because place yourself right, you know, don't sell yourself short. It's a very, very, very valid advice. You know, in 10Alytics, they will hold your hands like a child, you know, through the modules. You have the opportunity to go back and study. You have the opportunity to go back and practice. You have the opportunity to ask questions. You know, we have people you can always go back to, even outside of class hours. It's the most amazing experience so far, really. And then another thing is the interview prep, guys. That is another very important thing. I did my interview prep with Mr. Mohammed, and it is the best decision ever, because it was like he saw into the future. He knew what was going to be asked. And I'm glad that I wrote down all the things he mentioned. I went back to practice, and then when it was time for the interview, it was like everything he was mentioning, everything he mentioned, it was just, they kept on. And then when I was answering those questions, I was so confident, you know, because I already practiced. I did an Excel test, I did a math test, and then they were really impressed. And another thing is, guys, it may not come as fast as you expect. Definitely you are going to get some no's, and then you may begin to think you're not good enough. You are good enough, yes. The no's will come, but always take it as a basis for learning and development, because after every interview where I got a no, I always make sure I get a personal feedback. So I work on those feedbacks for my next interviews. And yes, it worked. It really worked for me, because I got my first job 3 months into the program, my first job. But I couldn't take up the job because I was a student and I was only eligible to work 20 hours. So I couldn't take up the job. 3 months later, I got 2 jobs with full visa sponsorship. And guys, all the other no's before the 2 jobs prepared me for the yeses I got. So yes, the no's will come, but do not give up, because you always have 10Alytics to go back to. They are the best and the best thing that's ever happened to me. And then yes, and they are the most affordable one I've come across so far. And that's a very good advantage. So yes, 10Alytics for the.
All right, amazing. So Ikmat's transition from being a full-time housewife to landing 2 tech jobs, right? And she was not able to select the one that she wants to handle. And they are all fully visa-sponsored jobs. So please, the best time to get into tech is always now. I think I've handled all the questions, and someone is asking, okay, please, can I have someone who has gone through data engineering to speak with? Hi, Ola. So Joel joined the call earlier, and he did data engineering with us, and he spoke to everyone. So what can happen is that you have to send an email to enquiries@10Alytics and then direct the personal each questions that you have, and we are going to take it from there. So hi Damilola, hi Elijah, please let's drop the enquiries email for Ola to be able to reach out to. Okay, Victor is asking, I hope a novice like me can learn. I'm a novice when it comes to tech. Exactly, Victor. So our courses are all beginner friendly that you can comfortably learn without having the initial knowledge of all this area. Amara is asking, is that the same for business analysis? Is that the same for business? I believe you're asking if the timing for the cybersecurity I mentioned is the same for business analyst. So for business analyst, the timing is basically 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturdays, and then on Sunday, they are 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Okay, so Saturdays, it is 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. morning, and then it is 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. evening, all West African time. Then on Sundays, it is 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. morning, and then 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., all West African time. Okay. Can I learn cybersecurity? I am new. Is it possible? 100% possible, Michael, because we are going to start you off with introduction to networking and computing, where you get to learn all those little aspects of computer. What is computer? What is CPU? We'll walk you through all those stage by stage till you get to that exact level that you need to be. As an enrolled student, please, I need phone contact of 10Alytics in Canada. All right, so I'm Elijah. Please drop our phone number for Ike Chukwu to reach out to when he wants. Okay. All right. Do we have any other question from anyone before we call it a night here? Okay. I can see Daddy JJ and Lucky. I don't know whether the hands are new. Hi, Daddy JJ. I've asked you to unmute.
Sorry, that's an old hand. Probably just got the.
Okay, I believe Lucky. I believe that's an old hand as well. Because I've asked you to unmute too.
No, it's not an old hand. So I'm going to be making my payment in Naira. I hope that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, Lucky. It's okay.
All right, no problem. That's fine.
All right, fantastic. So guys, we will be calling it a night here. Remember, you can always reach out to us through the email that my colleagues are dropping and through the phone numbers, and we will definitely attend to you. And please ensure that you fill the attendance form so that you can get the slide and the recording that we used for this session. Like I always say, the best time to get into tech is right now. The best next time is also right now, because tomorrow it may actually be a little bit too late. So thank you guys so much for staying here till 25 minutes to 11 West African time here. And I can't wait to see you guys in class come June 8th or July, as the case may be. Take care of yourself and bye for now, guys. Cheers.